There's always something going on in the Digi department during CFA weekend. Maybe too much. I'll see you guys next year for our first CFA, and maybe we'll talk about the changes. I'm Stephen Storey with Digi 343 News, signing off. The Media Lab has new equipment like the Yamaha DM3 mixing board, but that doesn't mean you can forget about the old stuff, so make sure that you take care of the equipment that's given to you. I'm Stephen Storey with Kirk News, signing off. While the Candler Station location is expected to remain open until mid-February, my shopping at Party City came to an end as I was asked to leave the property. This is Stephen Storey with Journalism 356 News, signing off. Christian is now taking his skills and music outside the Liberty bubble for the whole world to see. I'm Stephen Storey with Bonus Points News, signing off. Liberty University's goal is to provide the healthiest food options that students can get. Some people disagree, but I think they're doing a pretty good job. I'm Stephen Storey with Journalism 356 News, signing off. Welcome to The Journey, a place where getting up bright and early isn't a problem. At least for these two.
The Morning Journey, it is Mark and Brittany with you. That's Jason Gray. It's called Jesus Loves You, and I'm Trying.
Brittany is one of Lynchburg Living's best radio DJs 7 years running.
Shark? Do I do Paw Patrol?
Yeah,
the show itself covers a few topics. Fundraising updates,
if you're listening via the app.
I think everybody took theirs home.
or the latest internet trends. The station has been visited by a couple Christian artists you may have heard of. The Journey is broadcasted in a variety of different locations in Virginia and North Carolina. For Mark and Brittany, it's not how far the journey goes. It's how much the journey means.
The listener stories that we get to share of what the station has meant to people, those are probably my favorite memories.
And just knowing that we're making a difference, not only in the day-to-day lives of our listeners, but like an eternal impact.
The Journey provides a lot of encouragement for local listeners, because after all, each of us is going through a journey of our own. I'm Stephen Storey with Digi 343 News, signing off.
What about you, Vic?
What do you do?
How can I help you?
The Digital Media Lab at Liberty University is a place where students in the Digi department can rent out equipment for their various projects. One of the most common pieces of gear rented out at the Media Lab is a tripod. When students return their gear, Media Lab employees go through a checklist to make sure all the equipment is working as it should. Today, some of the tripod heads were undergoing maintenance. I sat down with some of the Media Lab employees to find out why.
Here at the Media Lab, all of our equipment is borrowed by a bunch of different students, and sometimes one of the common issues we have is with our tripods because people won't treat them properly.
And tripod heads aren't cheap, even the ones that we've got here.
This can lead to things like the tripods getting damaged and having to bring in new equipment. Like the Yamaha DM3. These mixing boards cost over $1,500 a piece. The Manfrotto tripods are also a couple $100s. The Digital Media Lab wants to remind students that it's not just their employees' job to take good care of the equipment, it's also yours too. The Media Lab has new equipment like the Yamaha DM3 mixing board, but that doesn't mean you can forget about the old stuff, so make sure that you take care of the equipment that's given to you. I'm Stephen Storey with Kirk News, signing off. It's CFA at Liberty University. It's an opportunity to show prospective students what they could be capable of. The Digital Media and Journalism Open House is no exception. Plenty of snacks, degree plans, and people in the program to answer all your questions. But that's not all. Students could also go through a tour of our production studios, including the new 26-foot wide LED wall. The studio tour also included a new tablet, which allows you to choose what you see on the backdrop screen. Dr. Previtt shared some insight on CFA weekend and how the new tablet works.
It's really cool because it's a time that
God is speaking to students and directing them where to go, and some of those will be directed here to Liberty.
Other people in the program think there's almost too much for students to do.
Today, two of us had classes at the same time while we were supposed to manage the table, and so kind of had to juggle some stuff and move stuff around. But it worked out because we all help each other, so it happens.
There's always something going on in the Digi department during CFA weekend. Maybe too much. I'll see you guys next year for our first CFA, and maybe we'll talk about the changes. I'm Stephen Storey with Digi 343 News, signing off.
Yes, yes? Okay. All right.
The Digi department at Liberty University has a variety of professional equipment so that students know what it's like to work with industry standard gear. And in some ways, encouraging students to think bigger. From lectures to backgrounds, this 13-foot tall wall can do anything needed for a production. The total cost of this wall, about $500,000 after accessories. The department is hoping to use its full potential for set design or other backdrops. And while some students haven't used the LED wall yet, they are still excited for just how bright their future is going to be in this department. Or at least Studio A.
It's nice not having to share with broadcast, especially when it comes to scheduling, and having something of our own allows us to have complete control over it, which means we can customize it for our purposes and let them use their stuff for their purposes, which is, of course, sports production and Flame Central.